What is up, everybody? This is your chronically Caucasian vocal analyst, and we're going to be listening to some MB14. A lot of people asking me about this individual. Let's find out what's going on here. He's building the harmonies super fast. Ooh, what? That's awesome. The way he's using his lips and the exhale on top of the sound to create this sort of like sizzle distortion effect. And the way he's using the dynamic microphone is brilliant. That's so cool. I have an RC505. I use a condenser mic. And I'm kind of ashamed that I do that now. Like, wow. Beautiful. What? This is what's crazy to me about looping. And people who do it so well, there's a difference between understanding music theory and constructing something out of that. Taking what makes sense. But this isn't just about music theory. You need actually quite a bit more than that. You need to have almost like you need to know sound design, and you need to know the options for sound design on the RC505. It's incredible. A lot of people have been telling me like MB14 is a good example of like opera singing. And I was prepared to disagree with that. Because it's not the first time hearing him and loopers like there's reasons actually why classical technique is not beneficial in a looping situation. But this one is amazing. So this is falsetto, right? Countertenors use falsetto to be countertenors. And oddly enough, the lower the voice, the better the falsetto, because what falsetto is it's a flipping of the vocal folds, okay? So they're wide open, right? And so the thicker the folds, the larger the folds, the more they can stretch out. And so lower voices tend to have a better range in falsetto. So this is brilliant use of falsetto. Water, by the way, not wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things he's so good at is just basics, like his EQing and his levels. Like this sound, like I'm so jealous. This sounds like an incredibly brilliant mix, and you can't just do that in post. The tracking matters. Laying down these tracks matters. No one can go in after the fact and adjust all of this unless every single track was saved and mapped out and finished in post. The levels, the EQing, the panning, amazing. All of it is amazing. This ordinarily would need sidechain. If for those who are not familiar, sidechain is compression that is triggered by another track. It's very common in EDM, right? So if the bass is on a continuous line, like when you hit the kick drum, right, the bass kind of goes back. And what's beatbox is amazing. You can do all these things with your face hole. But sidechaining is a really, there are a lot of things you need to do when you're mixing to make things this clean. This is brilliant on many, many levels. It doesn't just sound cool.
Rhythm's quite simple, crack and join. The point is to feel the taste of that sample. That's a hammer, not a word. My alter ego ain't cheap, so you don't know me. Well, let me introduce you to my barrel. You can jump from the audience straight to the stage. You just move your hands up and let me handle what's next. If you
it's not easy to get my white person moving. All right, my hips lie. I am so white when I walk outside, I'm a traffic hazard. The sun reflects off of me into the eyes of the drivers. People get hurt. It's awkward, all right? But even I'm moving to this. This is incredible.
You can't recall the words I'm gonna feel in the blank. Close your eyes if you're hot, you must be feeling the face. You gotta get over your boundaries. Sweat, lose some calories. Vocally energetic, you can call me human battery. We're dangerous, destroying the microphone. You need our style like alcohol. You can call me Al Capone. Writing down those pauses, I created an odyssey. A wide world, recruiting empires, mostly playing hide and seek, neglecting the complexity. My own Bohemian Rhapsody. My voice can take you any minute to an immediate custody.
Okay.
Custody.
You gotta be kidding me. And he comes up, he's so precise. He's hype, the performance is incredible, but he's precise all the while. Nice. Wow. That's super slick.
Merci.
Oh, System of a Down. Yeah, nice. That or almost Turtles. like Paradise.
La cup, ça va toujours. 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 As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left, cause I've been blessing it, been so long that even like up thinks that my mind is gone. But I've never crossed a man who didn't deserve it. Me but treated like a punk, you know, that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking or when you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in shock. They've been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's.
I am shocked that, so I don't look it. I'm old. I was alive and well when this dropped. And it's weird. I don't actually know what Coolio is doing and where he's gone, but this was a banger of a tune, and it was everywhere when I was growing up. So it's crazy to see this kind of thing come back.
Paradise, been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's paradise. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we heard are you and me? Yeah, what? As I walk,
This is a sound I want to pick up.
as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Oh! Okay.
Merci beaucoup.
Du bruit.
This is reminiscent of an 80s. This is, again, more sound design. Reminiscent of 80s snares, where you'd have this massive wash of reverb on them, and then you'd gate it off. It's interesting. I tried to do this. I didn't think to just like stop the sound to create the gate. That's really clever. So this is where counterpoint becomes kind of a really, really, really big deal. And what is counterpoint? Counterpoint is harmony created from melody. That's the simplest definition. That's all you need to know, okay? It would be different if I were like do, re, do, and then the other voice would be mi, re, mi, right? Like that would just be kind of like a little square, right? That'd just be like, choir harmonies, right? What he's doing is a lot more interesting. It's counterpoint. And so this is where the music theory chops come into it. And when I say music theory, I mean oral musicianship. There's a big difference between understanding chords on a piano or on paper and then actually being able to recreate those harmonies with just your ear. And listen to that, right? This is what I'm talking about with this panning. Everything's really got a space for the mix. And
is on his way to get out of the world, to climb over the mountains and sing under the moon. This gentle breeze on my face, listening to the chants of the waves, the sound of the wind in the branches reconnects me to the ancients and angels. What is there beyond these stars? Why does the moon have all these scars? The sea reflects her holy shines. What secrets do you hold inside? What is there beyond these stars? Why does the moon have all these scars? The sea reflects her holy shines. What secrets do you hold inside? We are a grain of sun in an infinite universe. I'm curious to know where I headed. All the good souls that always go first. Through the rain, through the storm, I keep on wandering on this road. Through the rain, through the storm, I keep on wandering on this road. Through the rain, through the storm, I keep on wandering on this road. Through the rain, through the storm, I keep on wandering.
Using the transposition and an EQ, so he's cutting up the high and going with a transpose function on the RC505.
On this road, what is there beyond these stars? Why does the moon have all these stars? The sea reflects her holy shines. What secrets do you hold inside? What is there beyond these stars? Why does the moon have all these stars? The sea reflects her holy shines.
It is really, really, really hard to make looping musically interesting, and he's pulled it off. I thought Sorrow was the only one who did it from what I had seen, but this is incredible.
What secrets do you hold inside? What is there beyond these stars? Why does the moon have all these stars? The sea reflects her holy shines. What secrets do you hold inside?
I was actually worried about him continuing that because it's clear. I think he clearly intended to be off pitch. It's such a it's so punishing if you're looping and you're just slightly off on either pitch or tempo. Like, ouch, because that stuff's just gonna keep on repeating and repeating and repeating. It's looping is much more difficult than I think a lot of people realize.
Merci beaucoup.
Nice. This is actually quite difficult. I'm also surprised that there's not more noise being picked up when he does this. The going straight tone on that like classical countertenor sound takes a lot of it's much more difficult. When you want to introduce vibrato and you want to go up high, it's much easier. So as you ascend, usually what classical singers will do, this is called the thyroid cartilage, and the folds are connected to it. Folds are connected to the thyroid cartilage. So when that thing tilts, you stretch out the vocal folds, which gives you power, and then because the air pressure in those muscles are really weak, the cricothyroid muscles, so they don't handle the breath pressure well, right? And so that's how you get vibrato, is because they're kind of like responding to breath pressure. And so the benefit of that is that as you're going up and these folds stretch, you can thin out the folds without losing power. When you want to do something straight tone, the difficulty becomes you have to thin these folds very, 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 very gently. Now he can do that and get away with it and go really high and add a little bit more oomph to the sound because he's in falsetto, right? So, but it's really clean, the falsetto and the way he's going about it. Yeah, anyway. Fattest picks.
Alright. Shall we be waiting there? We are sure. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are sure. Shall we be waiting there? In this world of calamity, dirty looks and grudges and jealousy, and police they abuse them authority. Media clowns we don't know barbarity. We gotta keep on walking on the road to Zion. We gotta keep it burning on the road to Zion. Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? In this world of calamity, dirty looks and grudges.
Super smart contrast, right? Big fat chorus sound, and then he just cuts it out and goes gentle.
And jealousy, and police they abuse them authority. Media clowns we don't know barbarity. We gotta keep on walking on the road to Zion. Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? We gotta keep it burning on the road to Zion. Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Shall we be waiting there? We are shout. Shall we be waiting there? Out in the street, they call it murder. Out in the street, they call it murder. Welcome to Jam Rock.
Merci beaucoup la Cub, j'espère que vous avez kiffé ce putain d'événement. Encore un gros big up à tout l'orga, toutes les beatboxers, toute l'équipe de l'Antipode, vraiment j'ai kiffé.
I will say, just from like someone who's observing French culture from a distance, to see Stromae and MB14 do really well is encouraging, because I think people forget America's not the only country that's racist. Like historically, there have been a lot of difficulties in France with these demographics, Middle East and black folks. So I'm really happy to see his success and Stromae's success, because I think it's encouraging. I'm French, so I like to see this sort of thing because I don't want to be embarrassed. So anyway.